Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a haul update. I'm going to be going through some things that I had picked up 1 year ago. I have been doing this once my hauls reach their 1 year anniversary. I've been going back and let's talk about those products that I had bought and see how I really feel about them. So let's just get started. I'm going to link last year's, the video that I'm referencing, which was my fall haul, a drugstore fall haul, things for your eyes, for your face, for your lips, blush. I kind of picked up a little bit of everything, and I will link that video below so you can head on over and watch last year's video, and then you can come back and see what my thoughts are on these products. So let's just get started and see what I think about these things. So the first thing that I had picked up was the Sonia Kashuk, I don't know how to say this, gloss in the shade Polished Plum. Yep, Polished Plum. This was my first Sonia Kashuk purchase of any kind, and I do like the formula of this gloss. It's a very opaque formula. It's kind of sticky, but the one thing I really dislike about it is the brush. It's literally a brush. So it's kind of tricky to apply, and I don't know if you can see this, but there is one hair, not hair, but one strand that's kind of fallen over, and it's kind of messy. It is kind of a sticky formula, so when you pull it out, as you can see, yeah, see how it gets kind of messy? But the color is worth it. It is beautiful. It is a little bit sticky of a formula, but that's what kind of makes things last, and I'm okay with that as long as, you know, my lipstick is going to stay on. I don't want to have to reapply every 5 minutes or every time I take a drink of something, because then it's kind of like a waste. But I really like the formula on this. It comes in a lot of pretty different colors. Now, I think the price point on this, I cannot remember how much I paid, but I want to say it was around $10, which is kind of spendy in my opinion for like a drugstore gloss. But I know her stuff is a little bit more anyways, kind of like Physicians Formula is a little bit more. But I don't know. They're kind of pushing their limits with me as far as drugstore pricing goes. But definitely, I think, worth checking out the color, and it's very opaque. It's a really nice formula. The next thing, do you guys remember these? When these were all over YouTube a little bit over a year ago, everybody was talking about them, how fabulous they were. I literally went on the hunt for these. I went to so many Targets, I went to so many Walgreens, and I finally eventually found them on the other side of town, a place I never usually go. But I have to say, the lilacs are amazing. I actually wore this the other day, and I was like, why have I not been wearing this? It is a beautiful red, but with a completely glossy finish. Really good longevity too, like very opaque, the longevity of it is fabulous. Now, these were limited edition. If I can find them somewhere on the internet, I will link them down below. I think it's Kirsten said she found them at Big Lots, which I do have a Big Lots here in town. I've never been to one before. So they were limited edition, but if you can find them, I would recommend it. The Lamats aren't as amazing, I think, as the lilacs. They're not bad though. And when I say matte, they're more of like a satin finish on the lips. They're definitely not uncomfortable to wear. In this particular shade, the names on these are weird too, by the way. This is never lacking. All of the names have something to do with lilac or lacking or something in it, so they weren't very clever with the names. But this red one is so amazing, Laconic. Let me just swatch this one for you. This one has such a gorgeous, shiny finish on the lips. So that's the matte, which as you can see, it still has a little bit of a satin, and then the lilac is much more glossy. I should have put this on today. But they are beautiful. So if you can find them, I would definitely recommend. I just picked up the 4 shades, but they did have, I believe, 8 shades total. Alright, the next thing I picked up was a color that has turned into one of my favorites. And it's quite shocking too, because when I first really got into makeup, this was not a color that was ever on my radar. In fact, I didn't know who could quite frankly wear it until Trisha from A Glittery Life was talking about oranges last year or something, and how she really liked to wear them in the fall. And I was like, really? And so, you know, she's fair, blue-eyed, dark hair. I'm like, well, she's kind of like me. I should give it a whirl. I'm glad I did. Take the risk, guys. Sometimes you'll find your favorite lipstick by taking that risk. It's called Vibrant Mandarin, and look how fun this color is. It's a Maybelline Vivid, by the way. Play-Doh smelling lipstick. I like these Maybelline lipsticks. The formula is great. These suckers stay on too. These are no joke. For like $5 or $6, this Maybelline Vivid line is fabulous. If you like bright lipsticks and you don't have any of these, I know these are not new, but they are just fabulous. I mean, they last on your lips and you can get some serious color payoff, and it's just, I don't know, these are like luxury quality to me. I mean for $5 or $6, you can't go wrong. Next, I had picked up the Revlon Color Burst. These were new at the time too. The matte balms. This is the one in Sultry. And a lot of people have been talking about this year because of the whole Kylie Jenner lip color thing and whatever. And, you know, it is a really pretty color. I probably should have worn it more than I have. But yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this up too. These matte balms are another great formula from the drugstore, truly. Inexpensive too, and it's a chubby stick, so it's easy to, you know, draw on your color and everything. But yeah, just a great deeper mauve shade. I know I'm starting to feel like we're heading into winter, but gosh, I would rock that color all year long. I don't think that's not fall or winter. It's like all the time, so I love it. Next, I wandered over to CoverGirl, and I picked up something solely on recommendation. I think at the time I had taken it from Melissa Raymond here on YouTube. This is a CoverGirl Cheekers blush in True Plum, and this was out of my box once again because I don't really love CoverGirl products. I don't like their lip products for sure because I don't like the taste of them. I feel like I'm eating chemicals and they taste like chemicals, and I just like to avoid that whole thing. But this blush is beautiful. This is perfect for right now. Dig out those plum blushes because when your skin just gets a little bit more fair, it just adds more color to it, but a little bit of depth because you like to wear those darker colors in the fall and the winter. A darker blush pairs so well. This is a beautiful blush. These CoverGirl ones have just the slightest sheen to them, so you don't necessarily need to wear a highlighter with it. But do you see that? How beautiful is that? Now that's coming off a little bit bright, but I had to shut my blind because as you've seen, the sun kept coming in here, but just stunning. You know, just a really beautiful way to add some color to your cheeks, but not too dark, you know, not too pink, just like a plummy berry color. It's just beautiful. Pair really well actually with either one of these lip products. Okay, and then I had picked up some Jordana blushes. I've never tried anything Jordana. I quite frankly don't usually shop at Kmart, so, and that's the only place in my town where you can get Jordana blushes, but now that Kmart has since closed down, so I'm glad I picked these up when I did. I picked up 3. Rose Silk. Maybe I should take off the glare, huh? Rose Silk, which is just kind of like a lighter rose color. And then I picked up Blushing Rose, which is a lot deeper, really pretty for fall. And my favorite one actually is this one called Redwood. I love a red toned blush on my face. I find that it's the most natural looking, flushed type of color on my cheeks. These are like $3. Shocking. Really good pigmentation. They don't last super long, but once they're on, when they're on, they're really pretty. I would recommend either putting maybe a cream blush underneath and then putting the powder on top. Definitely setting it with some sort of powder. Okay, so I didn't say that right. Put on the cream blush, then put on the powdered blush, then set it with a powder and use some sort of setting spray if you want it to last all day. Otherwise, I don't think they're gonna last. But isn't that fun? I love it. I would pair that with this. I would, just because it's kind of in that orangey reddish family. That would look really pretty with what I have going on today. Of course, I didn't plan it out that way, but you know. Okay, then I found and decided to try the NYX HD Concealer. I had never tried this before, and you know what? Out of all of my concealers in that drawer, most of which are a lot more expensive than the price of even 4 of these, I like this better. This is going to cost you $5. They have a yellow one that's a corrector, and then they have a whole shade range of concealers. And I use this for my under eye area. This is great. It doesn't crease. I set it with some sort of setting powder. It stays all day. It does the job. It does just as good, if not better, than, like I just said, some of my expensive ones. Now, I have heard this compared to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have not tried the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I really want to because I know a lot of people love it. It's their holy grail concealer. I just hate the price of how much it is for one, but I really do want to try it. But this is just fabulous. So sometimes it's like, well, why go on the hunt for something that's going to cost way more when you're satisfied with this $5 item? I don't know. Curiosity? Okay, I was in a fall mood. Of course, I had picked all these things up for fall, and so I decided to try my first Maybelline Eye Studio Quad. Yes, I had never tried any before. I tried a few other drugstore eyeshadows, I just haven't been impressed. These are all shimmery. They're very, very buttery. This particular quad makes a very pretty look, kind of similar. Like this shade is similar to what I have on the outside of my eyes today, but I love these. I think they're great. I don't like that they're all shimmery. You're gonna need to get some matte colors because I don't like an all shimmer look on me. But these are really nice, and I think these are like $5 or $6. Let me just give you a couple swatches here. This cream one is really pretty. I don't know, you know, I think it's a great, you know, you can create a really pretty eye look with these. So I would recommend checking them out. Like I just said though, you're going to need some matte shadows because this is going to get you an all shimmery look, which I'm not really a huge fan of. The next thing that I picked up, which I'm least excited about this out of everything that I have here, this is the one thing that I'm really on the fence about. I'm not really sure if I would recommend it to you or not, which makes me sad because it came highly recommended by Candy Johnson. And as you know, everyone has their own opinions about makeup and not everything's going to work for everybody. But I gave it a whirl. I really dislike the price of Physicians Formula products. This is their translucent pearls. Let's see, mineral powder palette, mineral glow pearls. You know the names, like a paragraph long. And the shade is translucent pearl. It's so pretty. It's a cute little package. But I think this was like $12, $13, or $14 or something like that. And as a highlighter, I don't know. I'm just a little, it's pretty when you blend it out. But you have to be careful because you can look like Frosty the Snowman, meaning it's very, very frosty looking on your cheeks, which is fine if you're having a good skin day. But if you're having a bad skin day, this just enhances every little crevice and line and everything, and I don't like that. I think it's beautiful on the lid, beautiful on your brow bone or as an inner corner highlight, or heck, even in like your Cupid's bow or in the center of your lip gloss, but on my cheeks, it's not my favorite highlighter. I don't dislike it. I just have to be, there we go, I just have to be careful on what days I decide to wear it. Because like I just said, if you have any sort of texture going on in your skin, a frosty highlight is not going to be the best option. Okay guys, that's the end of the haul. That's the end of all my thoughts on all these products. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, if you want me to continue to go back and tell you about whether if I still like these things or not, or if I would even recommend them to. So, alright, well I hope you guys have a fabulous day and I'll talk to you again soon.